Imagine a student so bad that he never got caught, and even other bad guys started thinking, this guy they use jazz, so they named him Jazzy. His name is Michael Collins, aka Don Jazzy. And for him growing up, his father was already into music. In fact, he was a record label boss himself, and so Don Jazzy naturally picked interest in music. He started learning instruments in the C&S church in Ajegunle where they stayed. And by the age of 12, he could play drums, guitar, percussion instruments, and the likes. He was born in Umuahia, but he moved to Lagos State and he attended FGC Ijaniki. By age 15 to 16, he started following people around, joining live bands, playing at burials, birthday party, any party that was happening in Ajegunle, all those block party. He just played. And usually in all those live bands, if they see that he can actually play, they just give him an instrument to try. And that was what he was doing. As of today, this man is so good. Give him any musical instrument and it will take him between 20 to 30 minutes to figure his way around that musical instrument. And before you know it, he's a pro. By year 2000, he followed his uncle to the UK. He was just going to be in the UK helping his uncle around, and then he started working at a security firm. Basically, he had a desk job there, but sometimes he fills in for all those security that are actually not around. But that didn't stop him from playing musical instruments. In a church in the UK, he plays instruments with a church band. See, one day when he asked one of the guys how he could make more money, and then this man plugged him up to other bands in the UK. This was how he began to move from one band to another, until one day when he played on the rehearsal set of Sashino Peters. But that was a one-time thing. But it was through one of those events that he met people that introduced him to JJC. And that was how he signed the contract to join the record label at the time. I think it was called 419 Squad. It was in that same record label he met Dbanj. According to reports, with the record label, Dbanj had not yet gotten a contract at the time. He was just moving around with them. But when Don Jazzy's contract came to an end, Don Jazzy decided not to renew his contract and move on his own. And since Dbanj didn't have a contract too, he just decided to follow Don Jazzy. And just like a match made in heaven, these two harmonized and began to do things. But it was never easy. They were living in a car, they didn't really have a house, they really had nothing to their name. But in all of those pain, he made this statement to Dbanj: I'll make you the youngest living African legend. All of this period, they were managing to record beats, produce, and record the entire track overnight. Within 2 weeks, they recorded the first album. All of this period, they were sleeping in a friend's sister's car. But there was a pattern that they noticed. When they go for shows, they are not paid as much as other artists that they even fly in from Nigeria. And during one of those Independence Day celebrations, Don Jazzy begged a friend to allow Dbanj to perform one of those songs on stage. Dbanj went on stage and killed it. He was supposed to perform just one track, just try it out, and the crowd loved it. So they asked him to perform more. And that was how they decided to return to Nigeria. They blew and the rest was history. But there was a problem. There was no real documentation of any contract, and so the record label was like 50-50 at the time. Everybody was enjoying it until we woke up to the news that they had splitted due to irreconcilable differences. Now, mind you, this record label was called MoHits Records, and these guys have done the unthinkable. They have done different tracks back to back. Everybody was blasting on their stereos. These guys have worked with artists from far and wide. They had signed other people to the record label. They have worked with Kanye West, Snoop Dogg. They were like up there, and you guys want to scatter. But it happened, and they went their separate ways. Don Jazzy wanted to give up at this period because signing new artists was going to become a problem. The money needed to push an artist at this time was enormous compared to when they started. And mind you, they had the best in the business. They had people signed to the record label like Wande Coal, Dr. Seed, many other brilliant minds. But over time of working, this relationship have moved from just record label boss and artist. They had become friends. And instead of just giving up, they encouraged him to continue. Then he named a new record label, but this time everything was structured. He made it more like a business unlike the previous record label. And this record label blew up fast. It was like the assembling of the Avengers. It was called Mavin Records. And these Mavin Records over time have created different batches and sets of artists. Matter of fact, in Nigeria, they currently have 2 of the top 10 artists that you can think of. Few years ago, Mavin Records was valued to be about over $200 million. And this guy sold a major stake to Universal Records. But he still holds autonomy in strategic decisions of the record label. So, if it ever gets tough and you feel like giving up, remember, you can always get up again. As of today, he's not just known as a billionaire, he's also a philanthropist, giving millions and hundreds of millions. This guy is one of the biggest record label boss you can think of. He might no longer be doing much of music production because he's now more into the music business. He has built different businesses after this, from a dating app to Jazzy Burger. He appeared on skits. This man is really an all-rounder.